Flyquest had the hell of a week. They had the tough week in 100 Thieves, TSM, and Evil Geniuses. And they started off the week with the upset over TSM. They were able to get the win. And I said earlier, one win out of this hell week would be good for all of them. And they were able to pull it off. But then they dropped their next 2 games against 100 Thieves and Evil Geniuses. Not able to get the win there. But now they've beaten 2 out of the top 4 teams here with Flyquest. What did you see in Flyquest this week here, Dom?
I mean, I think that Flyquest just can't lane versus better teams, right? I think that the thing that keeps them in games is that they don't ever like have that like, oh, we're trying to check Baron now, we're just running in one by one and just all 5 members die and they just give Baron. Like, they don't make it easy for the enemy team to end the game. They don't do a lot of like they don't make a lot of stupid mistakes throughout the game as a team, but they don't have good enough laners to like have me actually have confidence in this team when like in a long period of games. So like when you, for example, when you watch the TSM game, right? Like mid got solo killed, top got solo killed. And just like if you're watching how like the game is playing out, you can tell that they're like they have decent coordination and they know how to not bleed out, but at least like when it comes to teams when they start getting to playoff form, I really hope that a team like this, like either I want Flyquest to improve in lane and then actually be like a legitimate contender, or I want like other teams to just not throw these massive leads, because like the TSM throw was just, it was just egregious, man. Like that game is actually impossible to lose. And if you can watch the fight, you can tell that there's like the way that TSM fights and the way that they like determine what is actually going on is so bad that you can't even say anything other than they like somebody's going in and they just all commit without even calling audibles mid-fight. Like if you see certain things happening in a fight, you have to change what the call is, right? Like you can say, hey, we want to contest this dragon, right? Like we want to contest this dragon. We want to like be here first. We're going to look for an engage. If you then get hit by like a million Varus Qs and a million Jace Qs, like then you can't fight anymore and you have to like make a different decision. In this game, they threw top lane and then they immediately went into a fight. Spica insta dies. All 5 members of Flyquest are full HP and TSM just still full commits, like TP's in with Nocturne, ults into the whole team, insta-dies, and while Huni is insta-dying on Nocturne, the whole team is also walking forward to try to damage as well. So the issue for me is that like when Flyquest get wins like that, it doesn't give me confidence later on, because like I feel like it's a lot easier to just not throw a massive gold lead than fix like these types of laning issues that are so prevalent in multiple games they play.
LS? On Flyquest or TSM?
I mean, it gets real rough. I haven't seen TSM Legends from this week. On the matter of Flyquest,
really bad.
Is it the episode? I haven't seen it.
Well, it's rough.
They had
because,
one
like,
really good episode.
Well,
They
I
had
mean, I don't know.
one.
It depends on what you consider good, but like you can see that the problems are repeating, because like one of the things Bjergson says that really like impacts me is he's like, dude, I don't even want to talk about this game.
What it looks like.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if there's so much point in me yelling at them for like the 4th time today.
I don't think so.
We're like legitimately not even trying.
I know she said it's a word.
No,
I haven't
if you
won, I
don't
haven't
give me me and Lawrence cannot come.
Wait, so I know you should come.
Yeah,
Well,
because I think
you should
Huni
come
will
now.
Huni will TP up, so that's why.
Why
I
are
just
you in
went
lane?
TP.
Just go
Because
around.
Huni can TP up.
Just go around. It's fine. I want to TP here. I want to TP. I don't want to TP. I don't know.
Wait,
Yeah, there's just no team.
He's like, I don't even want to talk about the game because it feels like we're not even trying. I feel like that's telling enough. When your coach doesn't even want to actually break down the game because of like the level of play and tries to fix like the other things outside of it, it's like, damn, like there are real issues with how TSM is like approaching improvement.
The thing that I kept commenting on was, and again, I mean, it fucking sucks because we're only getting like tidbits, right? But it feels like their obsession with like Herald and wards and fucking dragons means they're so genuinely disconnected from what's actually important in order to get better at the game, right? Because laning phase is the biggest extent. It's the most pure form of League of Legends. To understand like lane manipulation, push timers, minion speed, recall, like relative to your MS, how, minion waves are going to interact, the comeback speed of the enemy laner, damage output, like all this other fucking shit. It is the most pure form of the game, and it extends into other phases. If you have someone that is a monstrous laner, they're probably going to be aware of what to do in like controlled team fights later on. The idea that someone can be a shit laner and a phenomenal team fighter is probably something that can be true, but it matters. I think it depends on how are they a shit laner. It gets really fucking nuanced, and I think it's really difficult to talk about in a format like this one. But basically, I feel really confused as to how they never seem to talk about laning, and the only person who ever has in an episode is Spica, by saying that his lanes are just losing. But also the way that they draft, Spica is set up for failure very, very, very often. And then you have Reggie going off on Twitter like last week, right? That there's stuff that isn't even a draft issue. So, I mean, I feel like there's just so disconnected from the purity of the game. And then there's this other problem that, like, when you're inside of North America, I think that your view on champion strengths or team fighting strengths or like what is and isn't possible is also just really skewed. So you reach really false conclusions for like what you should be prioritizing. And when you boot camp in another region and prep for like an international event, everyone does naturally get better. But because the environment is temporary and most people don't know how to consciously learn, you don't actually take anything back. And I liken this to, imagine you just, there's a bus that comes and picks up 3 teams at LCS and, drives them to a remote fucking location. And that remote location is just a gym. And every single day you're forced to work out, right? Or like do like Olympic type fucking shit. I don't know. At the end of the 1 month, your body and physique is going to be completely, shaped differently. You're going to be eating different, whatever. And then a bus comes back and picks you up and drops you right back off in LA. You don't really know why you were doing anything. Nor was it your intention to do that stuff in the first place. Nor was it your intention to seek it out. So slowly your body will digress back into its previous state. And this is a problem that happens with most teams when they go to international events, and it's why they don't actually improve, and it's why league's been stagnating for about 4 years, because critical thinking is absent in this scene, and there's not very many original thinkers that know how to push boundaries inside of the game, especially players.
Hey, thanks for watching VENN Esports. Make sure to hit that subscribe button below and explore other videos. In fact, click the ones on the screen right now. It's probably where my hands are for the jumping jacks, yeah?